my channel. As always, I am very excited for today's video. This one we are bringing back to the fitness realm with 5 tips that I have for anybody that is thinking about becoming a personal trainer. So with all that being said, let's get into the tips. The first thing that I think you should consider before you purchase a program or which certification you want is that you will get what you give. Now by that I mean the amount of effort that you are going to put into this is how rewarding this career is going to be for you, or what the certificate is going to mean to you. And I've mentioned this in past videos before. If you are doing this for the ease of it, or because you want to be Instagram famous, or you want to look hot and whatever, like if you're doing it for all the wrong reasons basically and not to help others, just basically doing it as a very selfish job, then you more than likely aren't going to be putting forth the correct amount of effort into it, and it is going to show, and that is going to reflect on you. You still could potentially pass, but you're not going to make a very promising career out of it, at least not in my opinion. If you're going to go to the lengths of getting a certification, I really think that you should be putting a lot of effort into it, just like any other type of degree or any other certification that you would be interested in getting. Number 2, what is your reason for doing this? Again, we kind of already got into that with number 1, but what's your reasoning? You really need to consider, are you going to do this for other people or not? Because I've literally had somebody that he's currently trying to get a certification, but he's told me that he doesn't really care about other people. He only cares about fitness for himself, and I can't stand that, quite frankly. I don't like that mindset. I think it's a terrible way to go into this job. And you need to be honest with yourself. Are you going to be the person that people want to train with, or are you going to be the person that people just envy but never really get anything out of training with you? Your reason behind any job is the most important part of it. You can have all the knowledge in the world basically, and if your heart's not in the right place, I personally don't think that you can make it that far, because people will see straight through that, and at first you might be very successful, but in the long run I think it's just going to cause a lot more problems for you and your clients. Number 3 is figure out your study method, if you have one. For me, when I was in high school, I honestly was able to just get by without studying. I would just be the type of person that would look at the notes 5 minutes before a test and be able to pass totally fine. Like, I kind of retained information fairly well. I don't know, it was never really a big deal to me, and I was able to get honors and all that stuff. And I just never studied. That becomes a big problem when doing a self-study online course, because I was very scatterbrained and I didn't know where to start with all this information, because I guess to me, somebody's speaking it at me and I'm writing down notes that somebody else is putting on a board. That made sense to me. But when it's just all on me, reading a textbook and doing a couple of assessments online, it was extremely difficult, and it caused me to not do my best the first time. I'll be honest, I took the test multiple times, and the first time I failed because I did not know what I was doing, and I can do a whole like story time, I guess, of that experience, but I just didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to study. I wasn't putting forth the correct effort, and it really screwed me over. So I finally became extremely honest with myself and figured out what is the best method for me that I'm going to retain the information. And I am already planning for my next video to be exactly how I personally studied and give you guys any study tips of mine that worked. But it's going to be different for everybody. I tried watching those videos on YouTube of how to study for NASM, and a lot of them didn't work for me. They might work for you, but they don't for me. So if you do know what your study method is, then you'll be 1,000 times more prepared than the rest of us. If you don't have a study method, then I would highly consider figuring out what it's going to be before you go purchasing anything, because it can be very disheartening It's just not a very smart idea to go into this unprepared and blind. Number 4 is to look into the different types of certifications. Now, there are an infinite amount of places that you can get certified from, so you want to consider what this is going to be for you. Are you getting a certification for a part-time job, for a side hustle, something just to kind of say you have it, or if you want to be an athletic trainer or something like that, are you getting it just alongside of that so you just have a little bit of extra knowledge? Figure out your reasoning and then look into the program that will work best for you. I went through NASM. There's so many different options out there. You need to find which one's going to work best for you and your needs. Number 5, is this even something that's beneficial for you? Is getting this certification going to be something that furthers your career, that furthers your happiness, that is benefiting you? I actually had a friend of mine who was asking about it, and she didn't really know. It sounded a lot more like she liked the idea of it, and she wants to do more health-related content to at least have the knowledge to back it up. But what I had informed her is I've personally seen her, like, she doesn't like to work out that much, but she loves nutrition. So I said, if you're going to go do anything, I personally recommend getting a certificate in nutrition and health in that aspect, because that is something you're passionate about and interested in. You wasting your money on a training certification is not going to benefit you in any way. You're never going to go train somebody one-on-one. For my advice, I didn't see it as being very necessary for her, so I really didn't go into it too much. And I let her know that. I've been completely honest, because I know having it, it sounds great, and I have all these friends that come to me asking about it, but there's very few of them that I feel like need it or are going to succeed in it. And that sounds mean, but it's just the truth. I don't want people wasting their time and money if it's not in the long term going to help them out. If you want this to have the best possible outcome for you, then you need to make it seem like it is a life-changing decision, because it can be. It really can be. And that's where we bring it back to the first one of you're gonna get what you give. That's kind of what I believe in life in general, is that I believe in the law of attraction and putting out good vibes and you'll get them back and all of that. So keep that all in mind when you're thinking about making this decision. That is all of my tips. I know it was kind of all over the place today. I'll be honest, I just wrote these down a couple minutes before filming. I didn't really have a good mental space to be filming, but I need to get into doing this more consistently and going through, like, I have a whole list of ideas of video content that I can be making, and I just never get around to doing it. So I'm trying to get better at that. So sorry again if this video was rushed or not interesting or all over the place and rambly. I promise the next video is going to be much better, because it is going to be my study tips, what I personally did to pass the NASM certification. If you are excited to see that video, then please hit the notification bell so you can be informed when I upload my next video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you liked this video, then please like and comment and share with your friends. And that's it. So with all that being said, I'm gonna go, but before I do, I want to remind you all to stay positive, be active, and most importantly, do what keeps you healthy.